What's up, y'all? Good morning. It's your boy Carter. Welcome to Carter's Life. I got a lot of people come to me and they say, bro, I love your Carter Life videos, dog. Like, they help me get through so much. Like, what's going on? So let me just break it down to y'all real quick. When it came down to, like, I know the first thing people were like, what happened to my Facebook account and all that. I got off Facebook because I felt like at that moment, because I've been off for a while, at that moment that I needed to revamp myself. I needed to really take time out for me and what was important for me. So that's why I'm not on Facebook. Like, and if you notice when you get on Facebook, it's still the same thing. The same people with the same drama. And after a while, like, if you listen to people's drama long enough on Facebook or any other platform, you'll start like living it. Like, you'll live it. You know what I'm saying? So what I did was I removed myself because I thought at that moment that's what's best for me. And I've been at peace with it. So I don't know. I don't even think I need to like get back on it at this time. So like, yeah, there's a lot of times where I'm just like, okay, I'm not gonna get on Facebook because this reason or that reason. So and it's not like anybody told me to get off it or you're doing too much of it. I had to see it for myself, and so I got off. That's it. I'm working on my health right now. I'm working on getting back in shape, and for y'all who don't know, that I was diagnosed with diabetes. So I'm taking this medicine. I'm trying to get all the way back to where I need to be at. What else is there? So I had people asking what's up with the Lyfe clothing. It's coming. Some more merch is coming out. I had to not a creative idea that I want to try, but because I want to make sure that when I come back out, that I have the merchandise behind me on the podcast. So that's what I'm waiting on right now. New Lyfe clothing. Going back to college. Paperwork is done. I just got to pay it. Going back to school finally. It's been a minute. And life is good. I'm at peace right now in my life. As y'all see, I haven't been posting like nothing personal because I feel like when I do that, I'm opening myself up to scrutiny. I got a lot of, I don't want to say haters, but admirer haters. People who hate to see you happy until you're miserable. So I didn't want to, I'm not living that. I'm happy in my life. There's other big plans I got going on. So stuff like that. There's big moves that I'm about to make. Moving in silence, y'all. Moving in silence, as they say. So then there are people who get on my Carter's Life and they're like, man, I really need some advice on this. So I'm going to give y'all some advice on something. And I want y'all to understand, I do appreciate all my supporters. I don't call people fans. I call y'all my supporters and I call y'all family. I do appreciate all of y'all who come to the Carter's Life and check it out. So I had a man, he said I could use his name. His name is Joshua. I had a man come to me and say, Carter, how do I make my life better? And I'm glad he asked me this question because it really falls into, like, you have to remember, in order to make somebody else's life better, you have to make sure you fulfill your goals first. You can't put somebody else's happiness before your own. And when I mean happiness, I don't mean like take them out to dinner, I don't go shopping, I don't mean that. I mean your own happiness. There are people who feel like you're supposed to put their needs above your own. Well, you can't do that. It doesn't make sense. You can't. And so when you find that person that you want to be with, y'all's job is to make each other happy. So when he asked me this, I had to really give it some thought, because a lot of men are not capable of showing emotion because we feel it's a sign of weakness, right? And when he was talking to me about it, he was like, I just want to forget about everything that ever happened before and just move forward with what is now. And we all want that. But here goes the thing to that. When you can't forget about things that that happened, because those things made you who you are now. In order to have a strong relationship, you got to have a strong foundation. You got to make sure that you and the other person are now on the same page. You don't have to hide anything. If you got to hide something from somebody, you shouldn't be with them. You gotta be upfront, even if it angers the other person. So if it angers the other person, that's fine, because they'd rather you tell them the truth than lie to them. We all been accused. We all done that. Like when we try to lie to save face on the other person. Nah, because when you do that, now you gotta tell another lie to cover that lie. So I told him, I said, listen, all you have to do is be 100% honest with that person. And if they love you, they love you. But when it starts with is you got to first be 100% honest with you. You know what I'm saying? So when you're 100% honest with yourself, it's easy to be 100% honest with somebody else. The next thing is, like, we always want to ask other people who are not around us enough to tell us what we're doing wrong. You can't do that. You can't do that because the person that you're asking is probably the cause of why things are going wrong in your relationship. Sometimes you have to sit down with the man or the woman in your life and tell them, like, look, this is the direction I'm trying to go. And I know our past probably hasn't been the best, but if you can find some way to let that BS go, we'll be fine. And one thing about it, as a man will stop all nonsense if he knows that the woman he has loves him unconditionally. Now, a woman gonna say some hurtful things to you, and you're gonna have to eat that because she went through a lot. I don't love you, I hate you, da da da. But one thing about it is, if she didn't love you, she wouldn't talk to you. She wouldn't respond to you. But then you have to let her know, like, look, if everything I did is for us, and that's it. Now, but you also have to remember this as a man. Whatever you did before that wasn't a good look, like if you had people, places around you, and it wasn't a good look, you got to remind yourself, okay, that wasn't a good look. And since that wasn't a good look, let me not, sorry y'all, let me not keep that around. Keep those people or things like that around. Because nobody cares about what you're going through until they're unhappy. Now, if you're happy and they're unhappy, you're going to be unhappy. But if they're happy and you're unhappy, they're still going to be happy. They just want you to enter into their stuff. I don't know why that is. It is what it is. So you have to tell yourself, like, I'm going to take care of me first. Now, in the process of taking care of you, you got to remember the other person. You have to. You have to remember the other person. Because the other person can't be left in the dark. Because anybody left in the dark for too long will feel like, okay, there's no light at the end of this tunnel. So you just have to remember that. One thing I told him was, You have to remember that you are still important to you. You have to remember that. You have to remember you're still important to yourself. When you're important to yourself, I cut myself. When you're important to yourself, that doesn't mean you're stuck up. That doesn't mean you're arrogant, narcissistic, all these things you're going to hear. It means that you're important to you. So since you're important to you, you need to be important to that person as well. Family members are not going to like who you select every time. So don't worry about your family. You're now selecting somebody that's going to spend the rest of their life with you. Because when your family leaves, you still got to have somebody. You can't sit around and say, well, they told me if I date this person, they're not going to be around. Well, guess what? It might be a good thing not to have them around, right? It might be a good thing. One thing we can't do is wait for our family to approve of somebody else, right? So I told him, if you and this person are willing to go through it together, then go through it. See, your family going to have to accept it or not. But at least you're happy. They live their life. I tell everybody, man, people have already lived their life. They already lived their life. So how come they get to live it twice through years? Right? So he's gonna go to dinner with his girl. He's gonna sit down and talk to her. He's gonna explain things to her. And he told me he'll hit me up and let me know how it goes. This is why the podcast that I'm bringing to the table is so important, because we're going to deal with real life situations. We're going to deal with that, right? And we're going to talk about things, and it's going to be perfect. And people, we're going to be live. So you're going to be able to talk to us live. And other people are going to say, wow, that's what I always wanted to discuss on my page, my podcast, but I was nervous of the outcome. You can't be nervous. Can't be nervous. But what you can be is knowledgeable of what, like if you went through something harsh, you want to discuss that. You want to let people know, like, man, I went through that. But people like, there are things that people go through in their family lives, like when they were kids and shit, right? They want to discuss it, but they're so afraid of their family being like, oh, why'd you talk about that? Why'd you bring that up? Because it needs to be brought up. Because in order for you to move on in your life, you have to bring up shit that's going to hurt you probably to your core. But then you're over it. Man, let me tell you something. All we need, and we going to get it, some of us already have it, is a relationship with God, and God will give us the rest that we ask for. We can no longer sit around and wait for somebody else's approval when people want to see us fail when we're smiling with somebody else. When we're happy is when we're at our strongest. When we sit back and tell people, I finally made it, I'm good, is when the devil gets busy. See, you could be in a relationship that's perfect for you, but it ain't perfect for the devil. See, God will tell you, this is the person I selected for you. So now just wait. Be fruitful of what I'm giving you. Be knowledgeable of what I'm telling you. And understand that at the end of the day, you are as important to somebody else as you are to me. Carter's Life.